Okay, welcome everyone. Hey, we're going to get back to basics again here. We're doing extreme beginners drawing. We're doing some simple pencil drawings. We're going to do contour drawing. And we're also going to just incorporate a ruler. Sometimes, you're going to want to use a ruler when you're drawing just to help you get a few straight lines, get some real accurate straight lines to maybe capture your subject matter a little better. It depends on your level of drawing skills. Everyone starts out different. We all start out with the, obviously we start out with the stick figures. We do those, right? And then we go on from there, and then we start doing little doodles and this and that. So we all start that way, and then we keep going and keep trying different things and venturing out. But in the beginning, when you're just starting to draw, it's just, you really improve quickly if you're just putting in a little bit of time. So if you're putting in 5 or 10 minutes every day of drawing, contour drawing, sketching sometimes to feel out some lines or some shapes and things like that, you should be fine. 5 or 10 minutes is all you need. And then once you're into that groove of every day doing 5 or 10 minutes, then you can just bump it up another 5 minutes and you're up to 15, and it's no big deal because you're in that mode of just always doing it every day. So try to get your 5 or 10 minutes in every day consistently all the time, and then eventually you're going to be bumping up your time. And then eventually, after maybe 6 months, 8 months or so, you might find yourself, you'll be just doing like a half an hour every day maybe of drawing, and then maybe on the weekends you're doing some painting in addition to that. So you'll be surprised. If you just get into that habit of a little bit every day, it'll turn into more, and then you'll just find it easier and easier to put more hours in. And the more hours you put in, the better your artwork's going to get. That's just really the bottom line of it. Everyone will tell you, if you talk to any professional artists or artists that have attained a high level of proficiency with art and drawing and painting, they'll always tell you, they'll always be honest with you and just tell you it's a matter of just putting in the time and also getting good, learning from good people that are much better. So you always want to be learning from people that are much better than you. So if you find you're learning from someone that's about at the same level you are, you're going to probably want to bump it up and try to always learn from people that are doing a lot better artwork than you, because they've done more time, they've worked harder at it and put more time in. And that's no put down for anybody. It's just like the better the teacher and the more knowledge a teacher has, it's going to be a little bit more information for you so that you can have more, information to use and to draw from as you work with your artwork. So no big deal. I'm always learning. I always go to books that I have that I've accumulated over the years, and I look at some of the great artists over time, some of the artists that are way back in history, or even just our contemporary artists today that are the really top professionals. I always learn from them. I try to heed what they say. So, always try to learn from somebody that's, has more experience and a lot more knowledge. And this way you're utilizing their experience so that you don't have to go through the tough, you're going to go through less problems and less challenges if you're learning from someone that's quite a bit better than you. And I always learned from people that were better than me, and I always seemed to get great information and learn more and more as I went along. So just an idea here that I put out on my channel of, making sure you're learning and growing and keep learning, getting that knowledge and putting in that time. So again, we're going to do we're going to draw this pencil, this mechanical pencil. It's a Pentel actually, number 7.7. I'm going to set it across from me, and this is where the ruler comes in. If we can get a center point for that pencil, maybe I'll put it on a slight angle. You could keep it straight. You can draw your pencil perfectly level like so, or you could put it on a little bit of an angle. That might look a little more interesting. Or even like an angle like this. Maybe I'll do an angle like this here. Or maybe I'll go level with just a little bit of an angle, just a tiny bit. I'll take one line and just draw that super light line across there. You might not be able to see it. Hopefully you can see that. You probably can't see that, but I just drew a super light line. And what that's going to do is give me my center point of my pencil that I'm going to draw here. I'm going to set it down again across from me. And that'll give me my center line so that I can kind of use it as like a gauge as I'm drawing. So I'm going to start at the very point That's where the lead's going to be, so the lead will be here, like that. Then it starts to flare out a little bit. And then it goes like this, and then it comes back down like this, like so. And again, perfection is not what we're looking for here. We're just trying to get the basic shape of it so you have that metal front portion of the pencil, mechanical pencil, and then it goes up and flares out here a little bit like that, like so. So I think you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit. I apologize. Let me apologize because I'm not zoomed in enough here. That's where we need to be, like that. So again, I started off with the lead, the pointy lead sticking out of the very tip of the mechanical pencil. And then we got that first area. And then if I just set this down like this, maybe we can even do that. Let's do this. Let's set it maybe here. I'll need some tape because this is rolling quite a bit. Let's get some tape. So I always use tape to tape things down from moving around. And so we'll take a little bit of tape here. And I'll just roll this up a little bit in a cylinder, like this, a cylinder shape. And speaking of cylinder shapes, that's what the pencil is here. It's really basically a cylinder. So when you're looking at this pencil, you can automatically say, what shape is that pencil? Well, it's a cylinder, basically. So let's see. Okay, that's good. Hopefully that'll stay like that. Okay. So we always talk about basic shapes. If you can think of things first as a basic shape, and then that'll help your mind to just understand, okay, well, this pencil is actually a cylinder. And the reason I say that is because if you take this mechanical pencil and you look at it, it's sort of like this. It's a cylinder like this, and then another cylinder, smaller cylinder like this, like so, and then another smaller cylinder yet there. And that's somewhat of like a cylinder, kind of a tapered cylinder. And then that's the lead in the front there. So you can kind of see how the shape is essentially just a large cylinder, like so. So if you have any object you're going to draw, you just look at it first and go, does this remind me of any particular, shape? It's the cylinder shape for certain. And then maybe if you're drawing like a something else that might be, like the shape of like a cube, you just might say, oh, well, it's a building. Maybe we're drawing a building, and we look at the building and we say, oh, well, that's actually a cube. It looks like a cube. And then if you see it in a basic shape first and say, oh, well, that building, well, it's actually a giant cube. And then as you're drawing it, then you're going, okay, well, there's all the windows, like so. And the doors and some fancy doors here and there on the sides of the building, and maybe there's another cube on top like that. That might be the some of the top structures of the building up here, the top portion of the building over here, and things like that. So, but that's basically a cube. This is basically a cylinder. So kind of start to think of things when you're drawing, just to give you the feel of things. You say something might look, or if you're just going to draw in 2 dimensions, like that's a square. So that building is basically a square. If you're just going to draw the building like a square, that's a square. A building is a square, and that's like a rectangle on top. And then maybe you're gonna have like some other squares for windows, some maybe rectangles too, rectangles and squares for windows. So basic shapes all the time, just to get your mind relaxed a little bit, because you're going to say to yourself, oh, I know that shape. That's a square. That's a cylinder. That's a pyramid. That's a sphere, that's a circle, and that's all. Just a kind of a thing to keep in mind. So now we're going to keep going here, and we're going to draw the next cylinder, and that's this is the portion of the pen with the metal, like so. Okay, that's the metal part. And we're going to keep going and say, okay, now this is the main portion of the. I went off my I went off that line a little bit, but that's okay, because now we're already well started here. We got everything going. And then we're going to do that, and then we're going to have another clip here. That's where the clip is. And then the clip comes down and goes like that and circles back. And then we have a little more of the blue, the dark blue, so you can kind of shade in some stuff if you want. Let's shade in some things here. So this is the dark blue portion of the pen. And that's the main cylinder of the pen. That's where all the leads are. And then here's the final part there. That's this is the part of the pen you push down to push the lead out. To get more lead out when you're kind of running out of lead, you use your thumb and you hit the, so this is the thumb pin, I guess they might call it. I did not look up the exact parts of all the parts of a pen before we did this video. Some of you might want to look it up online and put it in the comment section below, and then this way we can kind of, someone else will be adding to the educational value of this channel. And there we go, look at that. Now you can do a little darker shading here, like that. And then there's another few darker rings here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're just a little more, you don't have to get this detailed, I guess. Then there's a shadow. Let's do the shadow underneath it. So basically the shadow underneath it's going to be the same exact shape, except it's going to be just all with a bit of a darker tonal value to it. So the shadow is just going to be a dark, medium dark underneath, like so. And I think you're seeing the shadow. Yes, you're seeing the shadow on the video here. So you'll see that I'm just following the shape of the pen, like that. And it's even very light out here, super light, where they pushed the end of the that push pin there, that part of the pen in the back there, and there we go. And so I hope you enjoyed this. This is just, again, we're doing our 5 or 10 minutes every day, right? So this is one of our 5 or 10 minute drawings, a simple mechanical pen. We learned some good information here. We learned if you want to take a ruler and get a line first, very super light line like that first, and that can be your center line, and then you can work almost as if you're mirroring both the up and down portions of this. So you're going to keep them equal distances. So as you go like this, you're keeping the same distance between the up and the down, and that'll keep the cylinder nice and even for you, you know, like that. So you can keep that line in there, and you're never going to see that line. Once you're finished, you're going to be shading this all in. You could take a little bit of an eraser here and erase that portion there so that you don't see it there. And again, you're putting a little bit of curves here. You could draw it straight. You could draw these lines straight like this as you're going. If you don't want to venture too much in putting too many curved lines in there as you draw, you can keep these lines just straight like that, more two-dimensional. But if you want to put a touch of a curve on that, that adds to it. It really looks a lot more beautiful as you're drawing if you can put in those little bit of curves. But in the beginning, you might want to do 2 or 3 of them with just straight lines here instead of getting fancy with the curves, because you got to keep those curves the same as you go across this way. Like you don't want to make one curve really sharp and then another one this way and then another one like that. That'll look really unpleasant looking. So if you are going to do these curves, you just want to remember you're going to keep them pretty much the same curvature, each one, on the same radius, and that would be fine if you want to venture to do that. And then again, just like so. That's more a little sketchy, right? I wasn't, and then contour drawing, we would just start. So contour drawing, we're not really going to be doing any sketching really. We're just going to go and start in one place and then just keep going. Like so, and just keep moving the pencil and going across. And then we can go up here with this and come down there like that. And then you can sometimes do that. Probably should have just went straight through with that line, but, and we do that there, one more there, and then another like that. And that's the contour drawing method, where you just start in one spot and just keep going all the way through. And again, you're not looking for perfection. You're just looking to get a good, good representation of this, of this pencil here, this mechanical pencil, not perfection. And the more you do them, the better you're going to get at them. I guarantee if you're doing like the first 5 or 6 aren't going to look the greatest. They're going to look better and better each one you do. But then if you're doing like 25, 30 of these over the next 3 or 4 months, yours are going to be looking great, because you're going to practice it over and over, and you'll get that comfortability with it. You'll be comfortable drawing this, and then you'll just keep going. I practice drawing pens and pencils all the time for many years now. So you're looking at someone I've been trying to draw pencils ever since, years and years ago. 10 years ago, I started drawing pencils and paintbrushes a lot. I just liked to do it and enjoyed it. It was fun for me to do it. And then I just had fun with it, and I just kept, and then after a while, I'm so comfortable drawing pens and pencils and paintbrushes that I really don't have to even think about it all that much. I kind of already have the feel of, and I know what I'm kind of doing already. So that's what, you'll get to that point. It's just a matter of, doing it quite a few times, at least 20, 30 times you do this, and you'll get the feel for it. Okay. So, hey, have a great time with this. Have fun most of all. Don't get discouraged ever when you're drawing if you're just starting out. You just keep going, having fun, practicing at it. You realize when you're in the beginning and you're just starting out and you're an extreme beginner, things aren't going to look great all the time. You're going to have some really good drawings once in a while. You'll get a great one and you'll be like, wow. And even the greatest artists in history will tell you, most of the time they'll be honest and they'll say, when I do paintings, only 10% of them come out great. The rest, I just don't think they're that great. So think of it the same way. You're just going to be following that same idea that all the great artists in history, like Monet and all these great artists, right, like Picasso, and they always said, most of them always made some comment somewhere in the history books saying, yeah, about 1 out of every 10 paintings came out great, or 1 out of every 5 or 6 came out great, and the rest, they're okay. So don't get discouraged when the ones, if they don't come out great, no problem. Once in a while, you're going to have one that comes out and you're going to say, oh yeah, that one looks great. And you'll put that one, to the side, put it in like a box or something, or you hang it up on the wall with some tape or whatever, right? All right, so keep going, get excited. It's just a matter of putting in some drawings and some time, and you'll get there. So we'll see you on the next video. We'll do some more drawing on the next video. Who knows what we'll do, but we're going to do something interesting, something fun. Okay, we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.